Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emerald the Quilter, and I have been making all of the quilts from the Perfect 5 Quilts book by It's So Emma. Today I'm going to show you how to lay out all of your blocks for the Gingersnap quilt. This quilt is in the 2 charm pack category, so I'm halfway through this section of the book, and I'm so excited. I have my sashing ready to go, short and long, so make sure that you purchase your copy of the book to sew along with me if you haven't done so before. Now you're going to want to watch all the way to the end of the video because, as you can see, I cut my hair again. Yes, it's so hot. Here in Houston, mid-July 2023, it is 97 degrees outside and it feels like 108, and oh my gosh, yes it does. My son and I went on vacation and I was like, cut it off, chop it all off. And I'm so glad I did because I've been wanting to cut my hair for years and it feels so good. So make sure you watch all the way to the end to see some snippets of our adventure. This stack of blocks is quite tall. There are 72 total to make the Gingersnap quilt, and my little dolphin friend right here went with me on vacation, so make sure you watch to the end to see his little adventure. And I want to show you every single block. That way you can see just how pretty they all came out, and I want you to see the different colors too. This quilt is so fun. I wish that I had had it completely done to take with me on vacation so that I could show it and display it, but that's okay. This is awesome. I really love these purples. Here's the peach and orange, pink and orange. This one I was kind of worried about because it had that teal in it, but it ended up being just fine because the white really brings it out and it's not the same deep teal as the rest. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to start organizing them by color. Might as well while I'm at it. So this is like pink and orange. This is another pink and orange. And I'm going to organize them by color because it'll make it easier for me to spread all the colors out on the design wall, and I want to make sure that I separate like the same colors, the dark colors, the lighter colors. I want to separate all the metallics. I don't want one side of the quilt to be more sparkly than the other, you know, so this one is awesome. I love this pink with metallic leaves. So pretty, so pretty. Gray, and then some of these more plain, like there are some like gray and like very, very light peach and very, very light purple that are a little bit more dull. Those also need to be separated. But overall, this quilt is going to be, I think, the most fun quilt that I have made in the entire, so let's see, this is the 6th quilt that I have made from the Perfect 5 Quilts book by It's So Emma. So if you don't have that one yet and you'd like to sew along with me, this is not a, you know, over the summer or over one season quilt along. This is a let's do all the quilts so long. Or if you just want to watch me, that's fine, but definitely get the book. It has a lot of easy projects for beginners. It has some more intermediate projects. I would not say that like any of them are necessarily advanced, so it's a really great quilt book to have. So this one is a little bird in there. Purple, and I'm just stacking, you know, these are all purples, so I'm going to put those purples there. This is light orange, more deep orange, another purple, definitely more pink, going to go here. This is like a light pink and then a more strong pink. So These are like a mix of light purple and dark purple. This one is mostly white. This is the swan feathers with metallic on them. So pretty, so pretty. I love the blocks that I fussy cut. So here, my little guy. Someone told me in the comments what that animal is, and I already forgot, but I really appreciated it. So cute. And here's my little bird again. Yeah, I wish I had fussy cut a little bit more, but the ones that are there are going to be awesome. There's my kitty Hobbs. He's coming up here to join me. Metallic. This one I guess is going to go with the white. Here's another one of those. And I have quite a variety of colors, which is nice. It's going to be much easier to work with. So when you have more colors in your blocks, it's easier to like keep certain like motifs separated from one another. It's easier to keep certain colors separated from one another. Here's my dolphin. It's just easier to plan out the layout of your quilt when you have lots of colors. That's also one reason why I like doing scrappy quilts. This is definitely not a scrappy quilt because it's from 2 lines that are basically the same, just the original version and then the version 2, and they're by the same designer. So Sarah Watts made these charm packs, Florida and Florida 2, and they really are meant to go together. They go very well together, in fact. I love this one. There's another one of these. I think this one might have been like a crane and not a swan, but I don't remember anymore. Light purple. This one, if I had this in like this fabric for like maybe the backing, that would have been awesome, but I don't even remember seeing it online. Here's another light purple, a dark gray with those swan feathers. Beautiful, beautiful. 2 of these dark grays. These are like ocean waves. And you can see that I didn't plan this out very well. So my ocean waves, they're like going different directions. So these are vertical, vertical here, and then these all along this diagonal line are horizontal. I thought it was gonna bother me when I noticed it and pieced the block together, but I decided to just let it sit so I had some time to think about it and reflect, and then come back another day and looked at it. And the more I left it there and thought about it, I thought, well, it actually just looks nice, because really what you notice more is the color. So I left it as it is. Dark orange. I guess this one should go here, and then this one, I don't know, it's kind of in between the 2, isn't it? It's like pink and orange. This is definitely orange. Purple and pink. Navy blue. And this block is the block that I have the most of. I think I ended up with 3 of these. Blue ocean waves. Black dots. Another one of these little guys in a different color. So this one comes in gray and in this very light purple. Another little dolphin friend. Some white, some blue. This is like very bright blue, so I think I'm gonna move him. And you know, I don't think I have a lot of bright blue. I think this might be the brightest blue that I have. So this piece is probably gonna have to go like in the center somewhere of the quilt. Light purple, gray with black and peach. More peach. Dark gray. Oh, and look at this little bird's face. He's just sticking out right there. This is definitely a very, very fun quilt. And then black. So these are all of my blocks. There are 72 total. Now that I've laid them all out, they're organized by color and sort of like strengthen the color. I'm ready to get them on the design wall, just one at a time. I'm going to be thinking about where they go, making sure that I separate all of them so that they're not, there's not like one focal point in the quilt, because I definitely don't want anything to stand out too much more than another area of the quilt. So I'm gonna take my current quilt off the wall and then get this set up. So I've laid out all of my long sashing pieces. This is there to help me visualize what it's gonna look like at the end, because these blocks are so strong in color, and on the white design wall, it really just distracts me as I am working through the rows, and so this helps me at least. Now I have in my hand my very, very bright blue block, and this is the only one of this color and in strength that I have in the entire stack of blocks that I have, and I know I want it to go somewhere in the middle. So it's just gonna go right there. And this is how I start. So when I'm looking at my tray, I put them all on this tray right here. I can see like, oh, I only have one of these. So I don't want to hide the blocks that are just like of only one type somewhere off to the side or in a corner. I want them to be more central in the quilt. So anywhere mid-central in the quilt is where I want them to go. And then the other, since there is, for example, like a large stack of blacks and two different stacks of grays, you know, this is the dark gray and this is the light gray. So together, I have a lot of gray blocks. I want to separate those so that they're scattered everywhere, not just on the corners or the sides or in the center of the quilt. So I'm going to just start laying them out one at a time to see where I like them. So like this guy's really fun. My dolphin friend, he is very, very, very fun. I definitely want him somewhere in the center of the quilt. And my little birdie right here. I know I keep showing this one to you, but he's very fun. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna start putting all the colors up here. And I'm gonna do this off camera because it's 72 blocks, and I don't think you wanna watch me do all 72 blocks. We'll be here for like a half hour or more, just moving things around. And so I'm gonna do this off camera, and then I'll bring you back as soon as I'm done. So I got all of my blocks onto the design wall. This took me a good half an hour of mixing all the blocks around, making sure they were just in the right spot. And I really love the way that it turned out. So I've got my design board ready. You're gonna wanna get yours too, because we're gonna take just the blocks from the top row, and I'm gonna show you how to make your first row today. But before we do that, I do want to bring you in closer to see all the blocks and where they're going. So here are the top few rows of the quilt. I have a total of 9 rows, and in each row there are 8 blocks, so a total of 9 columns. And you can see that all of my very strong colors, like those oranges, blacks, and blues, they're very well separated. So it's evenly distributed, and I love where everything is. Nothing is too close to one another. The metallics are spread apart, and let me just step back. You and see more of it. It's really gorgeous. And there is going to be sashing that goes in between each block, and it's just going to be like, wow. So I hope that helps you figure out how you want to lay out your blocks in your quilt. I took a picture with my phone to make sure that the top row that I took down is going to go back the way that I had it. And I laid them in order right here. This is going to be the last block in that row, and I set it aside because these blocks are going to get sashing to my right, and this one is not. So that's why it's separated. I always start by getting a leader, and you can see that they are in order. So that's going to help me at least a little bit to keep them the way that they should. And I'm just going to start with one block at a time. I'm going to get all of these sashing pieces on. And when I sew, most of the time, not all of the time, I sew with all of these seams downwards. And I used to have a big problem, and I would sew with these seams up on the top where I could see them. But with practice, I've learned that it's actually more helpful to remember to lift your seam up as you're getting close to your feet, because you can pull and tug on the sashing. So if you need it to be stretched a little bit, you can give it a tug. If you need it to be a little bit closer, you can let it go loose and tug the bottom. So you can see more of what you're doing when you have your short sashing pieces up on the top. And now that I have finished all the blocks, the rest of this quilt is going to go by pretty quickly, because the sashing is fairly straightforward. And what I really enjoy about this quilt is that there are no cornerstones in the quilt. So many times a quilt like this with short pieces of sashing, the horizontal sashing pieces will have cornerstones included. I have a quilt like that needs to be quilted where there's cornerstones everywhere, and that it just adds a lot more time to making the quilt. But I'm happy with the design of this quilt because cornerstones would have really taken away from these 4 patches. So I guess altogether this is just one very large 9 patch, and it's very fun to take a traditional pattern and use modern fabrics, because you don't really see too much of that. And I'm always looking on Pinterest. I watch a lot of YouTube videos because whenever I'm quilting, I like the feeling of quilting with others. And I also learn a lot from watching other people sew. So I hope that you are enjoying my videos. Remember to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It just helps make my videos more visible to others. You can also share my videos directly with other of your quilty friends. And just want to say thank you in advance for all of you who have subscribed. This actually leads me to some very good news. I finally hit 1,000 subscribers, and I was so excited, and I'm so proud, because at 1,000 subscribers is when YouTube considers your channel eligible for monetization, which means that I can start generating a very, very tiny, itty-bitty amount of income on my YouTube channel. So yay, I'm so happy, and thank you to all of you who have been subscribed from the beginning, and I just really appreciate all of you so much. So that took, let's see, I started my YouTube videos November of 2022, and right now it's July 2023. So not even a year, and I'm just like, wow. Thank you to all of you who have been watching my videos since the beginning. All right, so I took my phone back out, as you can see, because I'm looking to see, okay, what goes next? So this purple one and then this white feather one goes next. So I am gonna sew those together, and this is how I make sure that I get all my blocks back in the right order. So I always take a picture, always, always. Especially when, like in some patterns, when you buy the kit, you see like what fabric goes where, and so you're not needing to take any pictures because you have your pattern with you. But since the Perfect 5 Quilts book is all pastel colors, primary colors in their patterns, they're meant to be variated because it's written for charm packs. You have to keep track yourself. So, and I think this is also why I was so enticed to make the quilts from the Perfect 5 Quilts book, because the possibilities are endless. There's so much that you can do with them. You can take one quilt that you've already made, get a completely different type of designer and make the same quilt, and it's unrecognizable. This book is just a really great book to have in your collection. So, okay, I'm looking, and now here we go. And let me show you. This block is the last one in the row, okay? It's right here. This block I've sewn sashing on, so now it's appropriate for me to sew this to this right here. Very good, very good. Now I can take all of these out, and I'm gonna lay them, press the sashing, lay them where they go. And I'll start sewing them with their neighbors. So this one goes here, and then these two, and press the sashing. Is going to be sewn with this one. You make sure that they're facing the right direction. Here we go. So the orange is going to go on top of the white golden feathers, just like that. So I've only got 3 seams left. So you can tell that if you get all, like maybe like 3 rows on your design board down at a time, this is going to go by very quickly. It's pretty easy to do once you get to this point. Okay, here we go. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it's actually starting to thunder. I really hope it rains, because that'll just bring down the heat. And it has been very, very hot. Okay. Last seam left, last seam. Right. I forgot what goes where. This black one? No. This black one goes at the end. Okay, see, that's why I took a picture, because it's very helpful. And this last seam is going to finish the row. Then I can press it out for you and show you up close. almost went crooked. So as your rows start getting heavy, remember to pay close attention to your corners because heavy quilts can be easily distorted and you do not want that to happen. You want to stay consistent. Consistent. Okay. Here's the top row, all pieced. Let me get this pressed for you and we can check it out with the rest. Here is my block, so let me just start from the beginning. Got my purple, white, orange, black with gold, more purple, some more white and gray, peach and orange, and then black at the end. So a nice variety of colors in this row. And let's take a look at the seams. Those are nice and organized. Oh, except for this one. That needs to be repressed. There we go. But everything else looks really good. Really good. And this was very easy, like I said. So if you don't have your book, get your book. Get your book. All right, let's get this on the wall. Now it's your turn to make all of your rows for this beautiful quilt. This is probably gonna take me maybe an hour just to sew all those rows together and then another hour to sew the sashing rows. So let's all get it done. And before you go, I wanted to share a little bit of my vacation with you. So while I was on vacation, I ate a lot of really, really good food and I brought these back. So these are alfajores. I grew up eating these all the time. We would take them to the beach with us. A box would be gone by the end of our day there at the beach. And they are delicious. They are basically 2 cookies with dulce de leche in between with some coconut, and I'll open them before we go. But I also wanted to show you my fabric haul from a quilt shop that I went to in Southern Florida. So this bag is quite heavy. We're gonna unbox this together. The quilt shop that I went to is actually called Quilt Shop, and I noticed it when we were on our way to my aunt's house. So my aunt and uncle, they're my godparents, and we stayed with them on vacation, and oh my goodness, look at this. This bundle, I could not help myself. When we walked into the quilt shop, there was Tula Pink everywhere. So much Tula Pink. This is Daydreamers, the full line. It has 22 fat quarters, and so here it is. The shop is called Quilt-A-Bit, but outside of the store and on the sign along the street, it actually says Quilt Shop. So I guess it goes by both names, Quilt-A-Bit. It's such a beautiful store. I will show you some pictures. My son, he found an animal pattern. I showed it to him and he took it and ran away. So I had to buy it, and of course I'm gonna make it for him. But I love Tula Pink. After making my first Tula Pink quilt, I am definitely hooked for life. So here are some brochures that I picked up while I was there. There are guilds. So there's a Palm Beach County Quilters Guild, a Hibiscus Quilt Guild, and then this was a 22-24 quilt block contest. And so I don't know that I will be joining these guilds because I am a member of the Greater Quilt Guild of Greater Houston, and they have some Zoom meetings. I don't know if these guilds have Zoom meetings so that I could attend. So I'll have to look into that, and I took them with me. But so just some fun information that I have. This is a cute little pin that I got. Let's open it because this plastic is really shiny. And it says Quilt-A-Bit on it, Florida. So it's a license plate. Love it, love it. Super cute. And of course, I bought a fat quarter. So anytime I go on vacation somewhere really nice, I like to get fabric that will help me remember my vacation. And there were only 2 of these I only bought one because I didn't know what I would do with it, and so I didn't want to just randomly spend money with no plan. So with this large fat quarter, I know I can make anything with it, right? But with charm packs, kind of have to be a little bit more selective, and so I just went with the one. And I love this. This is called Sweet and Sour, and it's by 5 Carat Mini Jewels, Wilmington Boutiques. And I've never heard of this line before, but they really are very pretty. So I will make something with this one day, and it will help me remember my vacation in Florida with family. So here is something else I got. Some Lori Holt cross stitch fabric. I do love Lori Holt cross stitch projects. So I bought this. This color is, what is it called? Doesn't say the color name on it. Just says vintage cloth. Okay, well, it's kind of like an oatmeal color, so I'm gonna use it anyways. It doesn't matter what the name is. And then this is the other fabric that I bought. A Day Away by Renee Fly of Cotton Steel Around the World. This is a layer cake with cats on it, and my son loves cats and dogs, so I couldn't help myself but buy this fabric. And these colors are different from what I normally work with. I usually tend to stay in like more blues and reds, but purple and gray is totally different. And I, these days, am loving to try new things. Some dark green, I think that's what it is. It's kind of like a grayish green. Oh, look, there's some blue in here. A little bit of yellow, some rainbow dot colors. So it's not all purple, but it's definitely more purple. Very fun, very different. I've never used cotton and steel fabric, so again, trying new things. And this is the pattern, Delightful Desert, and it's fat quarter friendly, so I could, if I wanted to, use this, right? I could. And this is a pattern by Elizabeth Hartman. I have heard that these quilts take a long time because every single block is different because they're all different colors. So even though there are several of these deer heads, each deer head needs to be sewn separately because of the colors, or you can make mistakes. So I am really looking forward to making this quilt. And last but not least, I purchased a pressing wool mat. So I've never had one before. They're supposed to be good for helping your seams lay really flat and also like not ruining the fabric on your iron board, which I have already started to ruin mine. So this is my haul from Quiltabit, the quilt shop in West Palm Beach. And if you live in the area, you should definitely go visit. So we're gonna open these alfajores. I bought these at a bakery. These are pretty much in all the bakeries there. If you want to try Latin American food, the best of Latin American food is in Southern Florida, the absolute best. So there's a mix here, and they come packaged just like this, and we're gonna open one of each. So here's one. These are so good. And then here is the other. So this one is what's covered in chocolate. So good, so good. The chocolate alfajor is my absolute favorite. This box is not gonna last me at all. So I will eat them with coffee and enjoy them as a snack. They're actually really hard to find here in Texas, so when I'm in the mood, I make them by hand, and my family loves them too. So I have visitors coming, and I know that I'm gonna have to be making them. So I hope you have enjoyed sewing along with me. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, look at the baby dog.